Hello everybody, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time popping in. Today I'm just gonna have a little play with the Terra Volatile. I'm not planning to necessarily do a full walkthrough, but I might end up doing a full walkthrough. I might just do a full walkthrough and a little play. But this was sent to me as a very generous gift, and I'm so excited to get into it. I have all the plans to study this deck. I don't know when that's going to happen, but today what I want to do is go through the cards. I also want to go through the expansion. There's a lot of alternative cards, and I want to sort of customize my copy of this deck and maybe give some initial thoughts on the imagery, perhaps. We'll see how it goes. And also just shout out this incredible softcover version of the Terra Volatile guidebook. It is laid out kind of funky. There's a lot of weird blank spaces, but I'll take it. It's good. I guess if you're the type, you could also use those spaces to write notes. Maybe that's intentional. I think that the blank spaces and the funky layout that shows up in spots is more a product of having converted this softbound book or paperback book, more compact, from their bigger, I would say, coffee table style book, the really beautiful big book that they put together for this. As I understand it, based on looking it up, it sounds like this has all the same content of the big fancy book, but just in a much more like portable format, which I am incredibly grateful for, because I feel like this is a book I'll actually use in reference, whereas I think the bigger book, as beautiful as it is, would be something that would end up sitting on my bookshelf and mostly getting ignored. So I'm really excited to have this copy, and again, so grateful to have been given the chance to get to know this deck and play with this deck and check it out. I have had this lingering on and off my wish list, mostly off as I continued to talk myself out of it again and again and again, telling myself this is not my aesthetic. But I am also a tarot nerd, and I love the idea of diving into this and getting to know it and learning about it and just seeing where that journey takes me. So I'm really excited about that. Before we get started, quick little pop in here to say, hi, if you're new here, hello, my name is Lisa. I like to make videos about tarot and oracle and all things divination, but I'm also a tarot deck creator and an author. I will pop up an image on the screen so you can see where you can find my work that is currently out in the world if you're so inclined. One of my products that you saw in that graphic is the Unicorn's Journey Tarot, which was my first ever tarot deck that I created, and it came out in 2024, which for some reason literally feels like it was 5 years ago. It totally wasn't. It was like last year. But I'm just about to launch my Kickstarter campaign for the Unicorn's Journey Oracle, the companion deck to the Unicorn's Journey Tarot, but also an oracle deck that I think really can stand on its own feet, or so to speak, and be a really, really good balanced oracle deck on its own. It is 70 cards. I'm real excited about it. You can learn all about it if you click the link down below to the Kickstarter campaign to take a peek. The Kickstarter is not live yet. I am launching soon, so keep an eye out. And if you are interested, make sure you click that notify me on launch button on the Kickstarter page that is linked down below. That will give me an idea of how many of you are genuinely interested, and that helps me plan things like early birds and other stuff for the actual launch. But I'm hoping to launch super soon, so keep your eyes peeled. We usually like to have a launch party here for my new Kickstarter campaigns, so I will be doing that again. It's where we basically come on live stream, my wife and I, we will chat about the deck, we'll answer questions, we'll give everybody a little bit of a preview of the campaign perks and levels, and then we will hit the go button and make the campaign go live. And it's always a really fun, exciting time, and we really enjoy sharing that experience with our community. So hope you'll be able to join us for that. But enough of that, let's get into the Terra Volatile. Okay, so as I understand it, this expansion deck is all these like extra cards that you can basically personalize your deck with, as well as an extra suit, which is the Vessel suit, which is an alchemical suit. I'm real excited to learn about the Vessel suit. I'm going to pull out all the Vessels cards for now, and we'll look through those at the end. But what I really want is to have all of these alternative cards. And I'm pretty sure there's some alternative majors, so I'm waiting. Let's see, those are swords, wands. Okay, we're going to have to, I guess, figure it out as we go along. There might be some alternative majors. Okay, we're going to figure it out as we go along. Let's pull this out first of all, because I think a lot of the alternatives might be actually already in the deck. For example, we have two different versions of the Fool here. So we're going to zoom in, and I'm going to just talk about these, and I'm just going to give like sort of first impressions and decide which one's going to go in my deck and which one's not and all that kind of stuff. So right away we have a choice between two fools. We have a more masculine looking fool, a more feminine looking fool. I love her. I think she's great. And they both seem to have same symbology. They both have an animal companion. They both are right at a cliff edge, and they have the same sort of geometric like symbols over top. So I think that for me is an easy decision. We will go with the fool, the female fool. Okay, next up we have the magician versus the alchemist. That hat is ridiculous. That outfit is ridiculous. I totally can't take it seriously. I really like this magician. Oh, now I'm gonna have to remember which is which. Hold on. Okay, so this is my deck. Okay, how am I gonna remember? Okay, my deck, and then I think I'll put my discards up here. So my deck will be right here. So I'm going to keep the magician. I'm sure this dude with the funky mustache has lots to teach me, but I'm not into it. Okay, next we have, oh boy, the High Priestess and Intuition. I really love Intuition. I think the symbology is on point for both, but I feel like I really see the dark and light pillars really obvious here. I love the veiling. I love that she's holding this pyramid. Oh my God, I love this one. Okay, so I'm going to go with Intuition for the High Priestess. We have Empress and Fertility. Ooh, okay, so, oh, let's make sure they're in frame, Lisa. Okay, there we go. Empress and Fertility. I'm going to go with the Empress. She's really beautiful. I love that she's got the shield. I like her too. She's got a lot more wildness. She's got the snake in hand. Quite potent. These are my discards. Let's make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, I am. Okay. Okay, next we have the Emperor and Authority. This is going to take me to some pretty shadowy places, and I want a neutral Emperor, so I'm going to go with this Emperor rather than Authority. Okay. Next we have the Pope and Dogma. I think this is real. Oh gosh, I gotta remember to have it in frame. The Pope and Dogma. For me, this again takes me right to a shadowy place, and some people might really find that valuable. For me, I want to stick with the Pope. I almost would have preferred an alternative to either of these, but I think in this case, I will stick with a, again, more neutral. I don't think the Hierophant is inherently Dogma. I definitely think that's a shadow of that card. I make sure I am putting these in the right spot. Okay, next we have the Lovers. I'm going to hold this one. This seems to be the only, oh, interesting, actually. There's two. So I'm going to cover up the naughty bits because YouTube gets mad lately about basically any nudity. We have the Lovers, then we have the Crossroads. I love the crossroad idea for the Lovers. In my own deck, in my Unicorn's Journey Tarot, I actually call my Lovers card Choice, and it has a literal crossroad. So I think that's the deck that I want that vibe from, but I think for this one, I'm going to go with this Lovers card. This feels a lot more classic, and it has a very Marseille feel to it, which I really enjoy. So I think I'm going to put that one in my deck, but I love that this is an option. Chariot versus Determination. Oh my goodness. Wow, I really like both of these, but I think I'm going to stick with the Chariot here, but that's very cool. See, I really like this art. Justice and the Truth. I feel like I'm being drawn to like the more classic versions of the cards. In most cases, we'll do a quick review after I finish the majors, but I am more drawn to Justice. Although, again, I do like Truth. This has got like a very Egyptian feel with Mott weighing the heart against the feather, but I like this classic Justice imagery. And then we have the Hermit and Time and Soul Searching. I love me a good Hermit, and I love how dark and like rich that image is. So I think I'm going to go with classic Hermit, but I love these. I love these. Gosh, these really will change the feel of your deck. I love that. Okay, so we have Wheel of Fortune and Fortuna for the Wheel of Fortune. Man, I'm going like crazy classic, I feel like, but I like that one. I like Fortuna too. I really do. But I just love the wheel, the up and coming. I really like that. So yeah, okay. Next we have Strength and Fortitude. Oh, I don't love either. Oh, I do like this one. I do like Fortitude. Strength is a little bit too overpowering. This is a very classic way to look at strength. This idea of like really overpowering the lion. I don't love that personally. So I don't usually like that kind of an image for strength. And I actually do really like the word Fortitude for the Strength card. I use it a lot myself. And I like that this lion is calm and there's a sort of grace in this image that I like. Okay, next we have the Hanged Man and we have Prudence. This one's tougher. But this is giving me a little bit of like temperance-y vibes, just in that like the duality of the head here. I think I'm going to go with the Hanged Man. And then we have Death. Oh, right. I remember that. There is a classic sort of death, very Marseille style. And then we have rebirth. I've always loved this image. So I think, let me just hold it up and look at it myself in person. Yeah, I really like that. I think I'm going to go with rebirth. But this is really cool as well. I love a good Skelly in the death card. But all right, next we have, oh, wait. Hold on. We also have the Misery Collector. I'll still like rebirth the best. Oh, okay. Now we have Temperance, and we have Temperance versus Art. Man, I really like this. But funny enough, the art one reminds me of, in a way, of an image I'm working on actually for a future deck project of mine. And because of that, I actually want to lean away from this because it might just take my brain to there, and I want to be in this deck when I'm in it. So I think I will go with Temperance. For the Devil, we have, I'm going to have to be careful here. I'm going to just hold them one at a time. We have the Devil. We have Temptation. I don't know that I can do this without showing bits. There's a lot of nudity in the Temptation card. Okay, I'll show one half of the card at a time. How about that? So we have this is the top half of the Temptation card. And then there's no way for me to show the bottom. There's a lot of nudity. Okay, I think in this one, literally maybe even for practicality's sake, I'm going to go with the Devil. There's less nudity in it. And right now, in this moment, like I don't love the Torment card. So it was really between the Devil and the Temptation card. And the Temptation card is just like a little bit extra naughty. And because I do things on video and YouTube has been funky lately, I think I'm going to go with the Devil card. But I can always change that out later. I do like the Temptation, but we'll see. All right, then we have the Tower. Ooh, and Hubris. Okay. I love the Tower. I also really love the Hubris card here, but I think I'm going to stick with the classic Tower. I love to see some good physical, like, building destruction in my Tower. And I also love the way that the light is, like, blowing open this whole top bit. I love that. I had to adjust my light because it was looking a little yellow, so I don't know if that's going to be, yeah, see, I feel like that's much better. I feel like you can see it better, so we'll just do a little recap of these. Yeah, that's way better. We're just going to revisit the ones we've already chosen for my deck. Apologies about the lighting, because this is so much better. Chariot. Yeah, mine's looking pretty classic, except I have Intuition and the Female Fool. Okay. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Okay, so next we have the Star versus Dream. Oh, these are both really beautiful. But again, I think I'm going to stick with the Star. And then we have the Moon versus the Labyrinth. Ooh. Versus, I'm just going to show this one. This is the Descent. So we have the Moon, the Labyrinth, and the Descent. I really like the Moon. I love my dog and wolf. I do. And I like the Labyrinth, but it's actually kind of hard to see the maziness of it. Oh man, I do kind of like the Labyrinth though. And we do see the Moon. I'm going to try the Labyrinth. I can always change it out later. And the Descent is real cool. It's real cool. Okay, then for the Sun, we have a whole bunch of nudity, and then we have poetry. So I can't really show much of this one. I guess I can kind of like, here. I'm trying really hard to behave so that these videos don't get introduced. So this Sun, I actually really like it. The nudity is actually all the vibes that I want, so I'm going to keep that one in my deck and ditch the poetry card for now. But for me, the whole quote-unquote naked baby on a horse is the whole point of the card. It's like, can you be fully exposed in the light of the sun and have that be okay? All right, then we have the Judgment and then Apotheosis. And then we have Last Judgment. So we have 3 different options. I really need to look up what Apotheosis is. So I'm going to go to the guidebook actually because that has caught my attention. So we have Apotheosis. The theme of divine ascension is also kept as the main subject in this alternative version of the Judgment. It displays not as an infant, but a man in his adulthood elevated to the skies. This Christ-like man is carried by 2 angelic figures, symbols of spiritual development and mediators between the skies and the earth. The main figure seems to follow an apotheotic ascension after many attempts, as we can see on the bottom of the card. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. Many other Christs lay down on the ground, dead and impure, having failed the divine cathartic process. Wow, that is really cool. Okay, I really like that one. Okay, well, that one's going to stay That's really cool. This idea of like the failed attempts and then we are eventually able to do that ascension. I think that's really potent. I like that a lot. Okay. And these are both very, very good too. Here we have this sort of like, I don't love that this is a baby here. It feels funky to me. I don't know. And then in the Last Judgment, this is a little too, these people don't look happy to be like ascending. I don't know. That one hits funny. And then we have the world. And of course we have this option, which is pretty classic. But then we also have this option, which has some nudity. I'm definitely going with this one. I like her a lot. This one's also very cool. But what is on the... Okay, at the bottom under her feet is Corevs. I'm going to look that up. So let me just show you right here. I'm curious what that means. I feel like I'm going to enjoy working with this book so much. The world. I'm just going to see. Oh, wait, there's 3 words. There's Corevs on under her feet. And around her hip, there's spirit versus. And at the top, there's anima, spirit verse, Corevs. Oh, here it is, corpus. Our body, corpus. I think that's meant to be, I don't know. The book is unclear. Like, I just need to read the whole entry. I don't know that it's unclear. It's just that trying to figure it out, like, right now while I'm filming is a little tricky. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Wands cards. But let's do a quick little speedy recap of my chosen majors. And I'm going to show them all briefly. So we have the Fool, the Magician, Intuition, the Empress, the Emperor, the Pope, the Lovers, the Chariot, Justice, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Fortitude, the Hanged Man, Rebirth for Death, love that, Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Star, the Labyrinth, the Sun, Apotheosis, and the World. Really love those picks. Okay, so now we're going to do the Wands suit. And I'm going to look for some alternative cards because I think there might be some in this, what do you call this, expansion pack? There's some swords. Okay, yes, so there is some wands here. So I'm going to grab those out. Page, knight. Okay, all right, so here's what we have. So we have an ace, which I love. A 2, and then we have an alternative 2 of wands. So love the ace. That's classic. And then for the 2s, for me, what I look for is somebody who's in their comfort zone considering branching out, and this does do that job really beautifully. This is a little more ambiguous for me, so I'm going to go with this 2 of wands. And then we have a 3, classic with the ships. This is a really beautiful deck. A 4 and a 4. I do like seeing the obvious bower here, or I forget what these are called. Hapa? Oh, I forget. I'm sorry, y'all. This looks a little more wild party-ish for what I prefer for my 4 of wands. So I'm going to go with this one. Oops, there we go. Put that there. For the 5, we have a much like broad, more like visceral like battle here, whereas this feels more like this is children playing for the most part, and one is trying to kind of like rule over the others or kind of like organize them, which to me this is totally the vibes. Then we have a 6, and we have a, yeah, this is the only 6. Yes, this is the only 6, and I like it a lot. Then we have 7s. The way that these are bundled is giving vibes of a different card. I think this is more obvious what I'm looking at because that's a little bit dark. It's, you don't have titles, right? So I feel like it's important that the visual immediately pop out as like, what card am I looking at? And so this one's going to be the winner for me. And then we have the 8 of wands. There's some very interesting like distressing on this image, and I don't know if that is intentional. I'm not sure. But then we also have this, and I really like this one. I like this one in the fact that it's all branching out from her head, but all this like little blue speckles on the card looks like a printer error. I don't think it is, but it looks like one. Plus, I really like the idea that this is like almost like a spiritual download. I really like that vibe. So I think I'm going to keep that one, put that one up here. I have never been fond of this card. I'm so glad there's an alternate. I don't even care what the alternate is as long as I have an alternate. This creeps me right out, so that's definitely not staying. And this looks like, you know, a dude with his guard dog, like looking out, like being a little guard man, like it for the 9 of Wands. And then we have the 10 of Wands. That's classic. I love that. Okay, then we have Page versus Princess. Now the Princess is totally nude, so we're gonna do that business. I think I like the Princess in this case. I'm kind of torn. I think I like, oh, there's also this page. There's also this page of Wands. I think I'm actually going to go with this page, I think, because it's not so much that she's nude, it's that she's holding 2 wands. And I'm used to seeing the page with just a single wand. And again, it's one of those things where the visuals, I want them to immediately like click. And she's awesome. But I think I'm going to go with this person. And then for Knight of Wands, we have these 2 to choose from. Ooh, I really like this one. I really like this one. It's very dynamic. I mean, this one is too, but it's just, he's like on fire. But is he riding like a weird ghost camel with teeth or something? I don't know. I don't know if I love that. And then we have one singular Queen of Wands. Again, I'm going to cover her up because there's a little bit of nudity, but I love her. And then we have the King of Wands. So quick recap of my wands. We have the Ace, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Page, Knight, Queen, and King. I like these. Okay. And I know I'm getting my order mixed up, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're into cups. So we have our Ace of Cups, no complaints, absolutely love it. Then we have our 2 of Cups, and we have these 2, 3 to choose from. Girls, boys, 1 of each. Love it. I am going to choose, in this case, I'm actually going to choose the boy and the girl. I like both of these, but I like the energy balance of the masculine and feminine here. So I'm going to go with that one. And then we have 3 of Cups options. Oof. I like this because it's boys, but I also really like this one because we can see the full figures. I like the toasting. Oof. Oh, this is a hard one. I think I'm going to go with this one. First instincts, yo. Okay, then we have a 4. Gosh, I really feel like this deck is super well done. It's really beautiful. I feel like I understand what I'm looking at. I don't know why, but I really imagined this deck was much more difficult to understand, I guess, and it's not. It's just really beautiful. And then we have the 6. Aw, I really like this one. I really like this one. And then we have the 7, no complaints, and the 8, no complaints. Love that. Very Rider-Waite-Smith. Oh boy. I mean, I don't love either of these, to be honest, for the 9 of Cups, but I really don't like this. This guy creeps me out. I know he's supposed to be like a happy Buddha kind of guy. Do not like his face. It's weirding me out. This guy, yeah, it's a dude with a bunch of wine, but look at his goofy, happy grin. Like, he looks so happy. That works. And then we have the 10 of Cups. We have the Page versus the Princess. Page versus Princess. I actually really like the Princess. What did I end up doing for the wands? Did I do Princess for the wands too? Or did I do Page? I think I did Page. I did Page. See, but now I feel like I need to be consistent. All right, let me think about this. Let me go find my Princess of Wands. Maybe I can change my mind. Screw it. Yeah, I'm going to switch out for my Princess of Wands. Okay, and we'll be consistent about it. That's fine. Because I really like her more than him. So that's how we ended up here. Okay, so I'm going to go with Princess over, which means I'm stuck with the princesses because I don't want to have some princesses and some pages. So let's hope I like the other ones. And then we have this Knight of Cups versus this Knight of Cups. Oh, I love this. I love that that the horse and her are both blind and she's being like blinded by the blindfolds. That can't words apparently. And she's being led by her heart. But directionality wise, this is truer to what I'm used to. And now I need to see my Knight of Wands because I feel like I need my knight to go my wandsy guys to go the other way then. I'm such a purist about some stuff. Like, I don't know what my problem is, but like, here we are. Okay. So my knight is going to, my Knight of Wands is kind of going that, you know what? It doesn't freaking matter. I like her. I'm going to use her. I'm not going to overthink it. Okay. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Love her. No complaints. And the King of Cups. And I also really like him. Nice. So now we are into swords. Let me grab my alternate swords cards. Okay. So we have the Ace. Love it. No complaints. Piercing the heart. Or piercing the crown. We have our 2 of Swords. Yes. Love it. We have 3 of Swords options. I like this a lot better than this. And then we have 4 of Swords. Man, I like this because it's different, but I really love the like composition of this and the light in this. I'm going to go with this. There's a lot of dark cards in this deck, and I feel like part of what's drawing me to this is the golden light coming through. I really like that. Then we have the 5 of Swords here versus the 5 of Swords here. I like this obvious like bully energy happening here. So I'm going to go with this one. Again, I'm trying to go with just first instincts. Then we have our 6. Love it. 7. We have the fox stealing the sword, or we have the guy with the swords. I'm going to go with the guy. Again, this card leans pretty dark and it's kind of harder to see. This is easier to see. It's actually more of a practical decision in that case. Then we have the 8 of Swords. I love that. And the 9 of Swords with the Sleepless Nights, no complaints. And the 10 of Swords. There isn't an alternate for this, but I really like this 10 of Swords. That works. Then we have our page versus our princess. She is not fooling around. I like her. There's a lot of empowerment. They both have a severed head, so like I'm not getting away from that. So that's cool. All right, then we have our Knight of Swords. I really like the winged knight here. But then this knight is running through the clouds, it seems like, which I also really like. Oh man, I don't know what to do here. Like, I feel like in the wands, my knight is quite... I'm going to go with the winged... But he looks like he's coming out of the water. I'm actually going to go with this one. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Okay. All right, then we have our Queen of Swords. Again, with the severed head. We really like severing heads in the sword suit. And the king. Love him. Okay. And that brings us to coins. We do have some alternate coins cards. Let me make sure that these are in order here. Hold on. Let's see. We've got 5, 6, 7, 10, page, and knight. Okay. All right. So we have the ace. Love it. Love the juggling in the 2. I love that in the 3. Oh my gosh. I love it when they're chiseling or like carving. The 4. Classic. Okay, now in the 5, we have a couple of options. I love the snow. I love wintry 5 of coins. So I'm going to go with that one. Then we have the 6. Is there a alternate? Yeah, this is an alternate 6. I think I'll go with that one. Yeah. Then we have the 7. So we have the 7 of coins here. And then we have our gardener. Oh, man. This is so different, but I'm going to go with the gardener. I think it's just going to be generally easier to read that one. And then we have the 8. Love some forge and anvil work. The 9. I love her. She's fabulous. And then we have the 10. Oh, I like both of these so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, but this one has the Kabbalistic Tree of Life overlay, which I prefer. So I'm going to snag that one. Oops. Okay. And then we have, again, princess versus page of coins. And because I've stuck with princesses, I'm going to continue with princesses. And then we have the knight of coins versus the knight of coins. Oh, I like this one best. That's an easy one. And then we have the queen and the king of coins, and I like them both. Yay me. Okay. And then in the expansion pack, we also have a chaos card. We have yes and no. I'm not too worried about yes and no or chaos. You are asking the wrong questions. I like the idea of having that in the deck as a bit of a call out. Like, hey man. Okay, and then we have some vessels cards, and these must be alternate vessels cards. So let's take a look at the vessels. So I'm not going to worry about the yes, no, or chaos cards. Let's take a look now at the vessel suit and these extra cards. So we have the Ace of Vessels, which is cool. We have the 2 of Vessels. And these are the 5, 9, and page that I have here. Okay, here's the 2 of Vessels. I'm not going to have a ton of opinions on these because I haven't studied this suit yet. The 3 of Vessels. I know it's alchemical, and it's like a combination of all the elements. 4. Here is 5, and we have this 5, or we have this 5? There's like a literally cut up body at his feet. They're standing on the body. This is like Kali. These are both very potent. Let me just put these right here for a minute. Here, let me just set them off camera because I don't want them to hover, but I want to look up the book and just see what it says about the 5 of vessels. Meaning, okay, so that's the alternative. And then here's the original. The head had a fine golden appearance. He was cut off the trunk and so were all the limbs. Okay. Why? The five of his vessels exhibits an image of a man cut in pieces while another character holds his severed head. Okay, so the alternative card must be the Kali version. We cannot speak of this theme without mentioning the concept of the ego death. Upright, separation, changing your patterns, and rediscovery. Reversed is reorganized, restructured ego, and on the right path. And then we have the 5 of vessels alternate, features the Hindu goddess Kali. I am tempted actually to work with the more gory version because it feels like it's the more classic version. And I think because the vessel suit is new to me, I would like to work with that version of the card, even if it's a little bit morbid. All right, then we have the 6 of vessels. I love this. The 7, the 8, the 9. So now we have a couple different beasts. I really like this one clawing at the moon, but I don't know which one is the original. So let's take a look at the 9 of vessels. Okay, so the alternative card, okay, the classic one. The main figure in the card is a 3-headed creature. That must be this one, yes. That resembles a chimera. I think I'm going to go with this one initially, again, because this is not a suit I'm as familiar with. And then we have the 10 of vessels. Okay, so here again we have a princess versus a page. I'm going to just stick with princess for cohesion. And then we have the knight, queen, and king of vessels. Okay, knight, queen, and king. All right. So let me zoom us back out now that we've had our little play. And so this is what I am left with for a deck, which feels like the right size. And I'm left with this many extra cards. Let's give it a shuffle. And I'm just going to throw 3 cards for energy obstacle advice as a bit of a sample reading just for myself to see how I feel. I will say, having walked through the entire deck, this feels like a real easy reader. Like, as much as I'm excited to get into all the symbology, other than that vessel suit, which I think will take some extra work on my part to read. God, that's such a beautiful shuffle. Other than that, I feel like it's going to be pretty simple to wrap my brain around. The vessel suit is the one that I need to really study, I think. And so, but that's only like 14 cards. Like, that's not the end of the world, right? So that's why I've actually got my bookmark in the Terra Volatile book down by the vessel suit so that I can start there and really read those, because that's the piece. But otherwise, this deck feels like it's ready to work with right out of the box, which is really exciting. Well, I guess ready to work with now that I've customized it. So let's throw in I'm going to do a couple more shuffles upside down, just because I think that the person who had this deck before me maybe didn't bridge because it had just a bit of a bow and it's already coming back. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a workout the opposite direction. It's a black core cardstock, so it's going to bounce back real easy, which is what it's doing. So that's great. I'm just going to take my time on the bridge. I'm going to do one more like that. Then we'll do energy obstacle advice. Okay, one more, and let's see what we have. Okay, we have energy, the 4 swords. So it's a time of rest, of recuperation, of pulling back from battle. Our obstacle is the 6 of wands. So being too hung up on external recognition, on needing others to validate our purpose, can keep us from making progress. And then our advice is the 10 of cups. Look for the joy. Look for those moments of bliss, even when things seem difficult, even when it seems like we're not making any progress in the stillness. Recognize that there's joy all around. I feel like this is an easy deck to read, but I cannot wait to get into its depth. That excites me because I thought this was going to be a difficult deck, and what I'm discovering just in this time that I've spent with it here on camera with you guys is that it's actually not a difficult deck at all, and the guidebook will let me go as deep with it as I want to go, but I don't have to go any deeper than I'm comfortable. Real excited about this. Cannot wait to play with this some more. So I will consider pulling this into my member readings for the month and see how it feels. But in the meantime, I will report back if I work with it during June at all. I think this video is going to go up this month. So yeah, so I will report back if I've worked with it in a more practicey way, either for myself or for readings. And otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out. As always, an extra big thank you goes out to my unicorn fam. And the biggest thank you to the generous soul who gifted me this. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to get to play with it. And if you enjoyed this video, y'all be sure and click the like button, subscribe if you want to see my videos in your subscription feed on YouTube, and comment if you have something to share. Don't forget to check out the Unicorn's Journey Oracle Kickstarter campaign page, which is linked down below, and hit that notify me on launch button to be notified on launch, and keep an eye out for our live launch party that is hopefully coming up very, very soon. Thank you all so much, and until next time, may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye!